Right, so in this video, I want to go a little bit more into Flatbridge because I really feel that the government, successive governments, has failed miserably the people of Jamaica in terms of, who have to traverse against this bridge. As you can see, someone literally almost drove off the bridge. Look at that, someone literally almost drove off the bridge. Let's just see that again. This car took the corner too deep. See, that bus did wide. That guy goes wide. That person take it the right way, I think. But there's going to be a madman. Look at this madman. You see it? He went in too deep and he had to correct himself. He misjudged. He almost drove into the grass. And he realized that, oh, we're not up on the bridge yet. So in other words, he was trying to go onto the bridge before the bridge actually started. And some people end up, in the bridge like this because they're not negotiating the way. I don't know if the grass is actually blocking his vision, but yeah, this is crazy. But he shouldn't be on the right side of the road anyway. He should be on the left side of the road. In Jamaica, they drive on the left-hand side. What's he doing on the right-hand side of the road? I don't get it. But he oversteer. He corrects himself. You see that? He corrects himself and then straighten up. The car behind him is approaching in the right way, in the middle. See, look at that bus. That minibus, same thing. I hope there isn't passengers in that bus, because check that out. He oversteered as well. He might correct himself, and then he almost went too far over the other side and drove into the bridge. He made two mistakes. He understeered and then he oversteered. Then he must correct himself. This is the problem when people are rushing and won't slow down. But let me just jump into something else which is far more important as to why I think this bridge is obsolete and why they shouldn't have built this bridge in the first place. There was no real reason, no need for this bridge to be built. And we're going to go into that next. Now, let's just switch over to Google Maps, which is here. Now, I've searched up Flatbridge on Google Maps because I want to show you something quickly. So if I just zoom in a bit over here, you can see Flatbridge is there. Now, in my opinion, looking at this map, it was very unnecessary for them to build a bridge that cross over the Rio Cobre here and on the wrong side of the river, yeah, only to go all the way up here and build another bridge to cross back again on this side of the river. Now, if the road remained on this side, you wouldn't need a bridge here, yeah, because you would have been on the left side of the river as it meanders and follow it adjacently until you reach here. So this was unnecessary. They should have followed the bridge on this side, on the left side. Why they did that, I don't know. Obviously, this bridge has been built probably centuries ago. So, it is what it is. Now, the other thing is, let's just jump down here first of all and give you a bird's eye view as to why this bridge is so scary. So if I was to go here and drop us in on the bridge itself, this is the bridge. Now, it's a little bit dark. There's nothing I can do about it. It's the particular cars. Maybe they're not using, HD cameras as they do in other countries like in Britain and United States and Canada and so on. But nevertheless, we still have a bit of a street view. I'm sure they're gonna, update it as time goes on. This is January 2025 that this has been done. So I'm looking at the top left-hand corner by NovaCare mapping. So when you saw the video streams earlier on, remember those video streams I showed you earlier on? They were done from up there. The camera is up there. So if I sort of jump back to full screen over here, yeah, where you see this camera feed, yeah, this is happening here in this position here. Okay, that's where the camera is, somewhere up there on that hill. Okay, but this is what we're looking at. So if you go across, you can see there's some people here. Remember that lorry that almost went into the river? This is what he has to look at. Look at the ridge. You see how thin that is? Where I said to you, if he went over a couple of inches this way or that way, and this side as well, there's none. It's a risk. How can this bridge be okay? It's the people that needs to negotiate. There should be something that says no parking here. So that minibus and car that parked here, it should be no parking there for them. I don't know why there are. But anyway, right, so there's the traffic lights. that I mentioned, and there's another set on the other side of the bridge. So there's traffic lights on either side of the bridge. Okay, there's the traffic lights there. Okay, so that's that situation. Now let's just jump back, shall we? Now they said they shouldn't put bollards there and stuff, like guardrails, which is nonsense. If you look at this bridge here, because this is like bog walk roundabout, if they kept the road from here on the left side, yeah, they would have been able to come out here and join onto this roundabout without after crossing the bridge here and further down the other side. So in other words, where they have to cross the bridge there and cross the bridge there, if they'd kept it this side is what I'm saying, they'll be able to go into bog walk without have to crossing the bridge at all. So the flat bridge would have been unnecessary. So this bridge was an unnecessary build from back in the day. So that's the first thing. Let's look at this bridge here that's coming up the bog walk. Yeah, there's a bridge here. So let's just look at what that bridge looks like. Look at the difference. And the bridge there is also a flat bridge. Yeah, look at this bridge. Now this bridge is a little bit higher, but you can see the guardrails are the solid, well built, guardrails. So if the river rises, I understand that this bridge might be a little bit more higher up. Let me just move this out of the way. The bridge is a little bit higher up the up the actual riverbed than the previous ones, but you still need guardrails, you know what I mean? And the other bridge, the other one exits on the other side over there. So there's one here and there's another one there, and the two bridges look the same. So if you exit this way and look at this bridge, yeah, it looks identical to the one that we just looked at. You'll be forgiven for thinking it's the same bridge, but it's not. It's a different bridge. But you can see a little bit of the water down there. You can see it. Not sure if I crossed the bridge a little bit more. Yeah, you can see the water. Again, it's dark because, it's the camera, and maybe it's the time of day that it was taken, and the camera might not be that up to par, but you can see the river. It's not as heavily and as deep as the one at Flat Bridge. So that's that situation. So here's Flat Bridge here. Okay, unnecessary bridge to begin with, but hey, we're stuck with it now. Imagine if this bridge had a bollard. I'll tell you why a bollard is necessary, and all those people that says, oh, if you're having a bollard here, if the bridge overflow. Let me tell you something. Listen, all this stuff is decoration, because at night you can't see none of this. There's no guardrails. So if you had guardrails on either side of this bridge, okay, then what would have happened is, for a start, it will prevent a lot of people making the mistakes of veering off the bridge, because the guardrails are solid. We see what they look like on the other two bridges. It would have stopped vehicles going over into it. Two, the bridge is too narrow compared to the others. I don't know why they built this one so narrow. And then, the funny thing is, the other two bridges that we looked at, it doesn't seem to be as deep as here, but those two bridges are much more wider, more solidly built compared to this one, which is deeper and more treacherous. Yes, still they build a more narrow bridge with no guardrails. And then you will have Calvin Allen, sitting up there and telling people that, the bridge in itself is okay when it's not. This is lucrative. No other country will accept this in any developed country anyway. So you need guardrails. And at night, you can see, I showed you a previous thing where at night it's poorly lit. So this is the bridge at night. Do you understand me? There is no lit, especially in the middle of the bridge. It's all dark and patchy. This is a poorly lit bridge. Now, if you go back and you look at it from this perspective, you can understand why you need guardrails. You can't put lights down on the floor because they're going to get damaged by all those articulated lorries. So if you have the massive guardrails, you can have them with lights strewn across it to illuminate the entire bridge nice and bright at night. You understand me? Not only that, if the bridge was to overflow to the point where the river rises and cover over the bridge and flood the bridge, the good thing about the guardrails is, once the bridge is is flooded, I would even dare say it will stop too much debris coming onto the bridge itself, onto the road surface. That's number one. Number two, they've got these bollard stuff here that is protecting the bridge from any branches and massive debris that's floating down the river that might damage the road surface. That's what these are the avant-garde of the bridge, if you like. Protect the bridge. That's what they're there for. They're not just to prop the bridge up. They're also to protect the bridge from floating massive debris that could slam into this road surface and damage it. Now, yes, there's a bit in the middle that's exposed, but the bridge is fairly solid. Now here's the thing. Imagine if the river rises and the entire bridge is covered, so you can't see the road surface. You can just see the dirty, murky water. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to negotiate this bridge when the river floods, because you can't see the road and you will easily veer off the road. If you can see people take the corner and they're understeering and oversteering, like I showed you previously, to barely come around the corner, imagine trying to drive along this thing in a straight line. It'll be a situation where you wouldn't be able to navigate this. Now, if you have rails and guardrails up here on either side, then what would happen is, now if it's covered with water and it's murky water, you can use the guardrails that's sticking up as a guide to say, okay, as long as you drive in the middle between the two guardrails, you're good on the bridge. And even if you oversteer or understeer and hit, you're going to hit the guardrails. That's going to keep you on the bridge. You understand me? So whatever reason they're going to tell you why you shouldn't have guardrails in the bridge is completely nonsense. But here's the other thing I want to say quickly before I end. The final thing I want to mention is, does anyone see what's wrong with this picture? Now, we already established that the bridge was unnecessary, and the road that was taking you to Ocharias, Bogwalk, Lingsted, why they had to cross over on the wrong side of the river, only to come all the way up here to cross the river again, was if they would just remain on this side of the river, they would have been good. If they'd remained on this side of the river, they would have been good. But let's just scratch that. Have you noticed what's over here? The Chinese came along, I think, and they built the Highway 2000 toll road. Okay? Now, they could have easily figured out, okay, where this bridge cross, this is the same road. Yeah, that's flat bridge. There's this road. It intersects there. Why didn't they build an exit here? You know why? It's toll road. And you're thinking, well, one is going under the other. Well, okay, let's go there and see what's going on, shall we? Let's just jump down here and see what's really happening. Boom. This is the bridge. Again, it's dark. It's nothing to do with me. It's the lighting. This is the bridge. Overhead is the Highway 2000 toll road. You understand me? That's the Highway 2000 toll road. That's that up there. That's what's up there. You could have easily built an exit. This road I'm on is the road that's going to lead you to going over Flatbridge, whereas they could have built an exit coming up here somewhere. Do you understand me? They could have easily done it on both either side of the bridge for traffic coming and going. Same thing here. They could have built exits coming off of the bridge. As a matter of fact, you can just about see a footpath that someone is etched out there. So you can have an exit coming off of the toll road here and over on this side here on both sides. And then this would have been, you would have avoided this completely, because you'll be able to go onto the toll road, which takes you immediately up onto that bit. So that's that bit. So now that we've established where they should have built some type of, you know what I mean, some type of exit entrance here, where it is, we just looked at it. So we see it was possible for them to build an exit coming off here, an entrance, and the same thing with this way, because it looks like it's a one-way thing. So they could have done it where they don't have to use this road that's taking you to, Flatbridge, because the Chinese were smart enough to realize this and thinking, why should we build the highway that's going over that side? They go over the bridge here already. You understand me? They went over the river here on their thing. So why would they do it? So all Jamaica have to do now is just basically design exits off of this bridge. They can get the Chinese to do that at a later date. That's another thing. And then this would have taken them all the way back here up to, Linsted, Bogwalk, or wherever this built up area is. And then all they had to do is just build another exit off here. You can see there's another road here again. They could have built a similar exit off of this area here, which allowed them, for those people who want to go into this built up area of Bogwalk, for them to do it. And then likewise have the same exit where it intersects here for people who want to access this area down here, all of this area down here, Kingston, whatever. So that's what I'm saying. But so the government can either build a situation where they correct the bridge on the right side of the river, or they can use the toll roads that I've just shown you and come to some negotiation with the Chinese to say, listen, if they enter the toll roads at this intersection here, and exit at the other section up here, then don't charge them for it because they're only using it for a while. And the distance between here and here is only like, I've done the measurement, it's not that far. It's not even miles. I mean, you can measure it, but just for the sake of argument, measure distance from there to there. Okay? How many miles is that? What does it say? Total distance 137.8 meters, which is 452 feet. 452 feet. How long do you think the Chinese are going to build 452 feet worth of exit road? And that's that situation over there. And the same thing with the other exit road over here. You understand me? It's the same thing. The same thing with this one here where the road intersects. They could have done the same thing. So instead of driving underneath the toll road and going this way to go over flat bridge, you just enter onto the freeway there and whatever. And that's the point I'm trying to make. But hey, so we yet to see if the government is going to update that. And just forget that you can still have this road. You're not going to abandon this road. But what I'm saying is for the main traffic, you don't need to use this bridge anymore. You know what I mean? And then what you do is you reduce the amount of, fatalities and accidents and near misses and how many lives that this bridge has claimed, flat bridge has claimed many lives, many lives. You understand me? So we need a situation where this bridge should just be for locals who want to access these. There's not much around here anyway, to be honest with you. But poor planning, and even with the mistakes that's been made from when flat bridge was built, the government is still not really trying to say, okay, now that we have the toll road, let's try and amend the situation and negotiate something with the Chinese or whosoever built the bridge and collecting tolls. I don't know. But that's not a difficult thing for them to do. Instead, they sit up there and they find excuses and tell people the bridge is quite okay. There's nothing wrong with the bridge. Meanwhile, the bridge is claiming lots and lots of lives. People saying there's mermaid and all kind of superstition to do with the bridge, which is crazy because of the amount of people that's met their doom on this bridge. I don't know why people don't get it. I'll just switch back to this flat bridge. They should just have this as a tourist area now where people can just go as tourists and just visit and look and say the infamous bridge that unfortunately claimed so many lives, that's responsible for so many traffic accidents. But outside of that, this is unacceptable. I mean, when you go back here and you look at what this place looks like at night, this is scary. I don't think I would take the risk driving across it poorly lit like this, knowing that there's no protection whatsoever for the motorists. None. There is no protection. Nothing. You make one slight mistake and into the river you go. And at this time of night, who's going to be running out to save you? I bet you a lot of people who end up missing, where they say they're going to Bagwalk, they might go Orchie, they might go whatever, Linstead, or anywhere that sides, or even going back to Kingston. A lot of people end up missing during their travels. And for all we know, those people could have easily have been people who have ended up driving off of the bridge and into the river, and they've never been found because it's happened late at night. Like right this time of the night now, it's 4:30 something in the morning. Most people are asleep. So if these cars that you see driving across the bridge is not busy, but imagine a car drive off the bridge like this car that we see up here. Where is it? So there it is. Imagine this car that's driving across the bridge. Now imagine this car drive off into the river and the passengers can't swim. And most Jamaican people can't swim. I don't understand how you live in an island completely surrounded by water and you can't swim. Make it make sense. I think there should be a mandatory swimming lessons for every child and student that goes to school. Swimming is mandatory because you're completely surrounded by water. And at some point or the other, you're gonna be going to the beach and going to the river and have contact with the river or the beach. So it's ludicrous to me that they don't have a mandatory swimming lessons for everybody from the age of whatever age you're being taught how to swim. That's just my take on it. But we're forced to take PE, but you're not forced to learn how to swim. That just seems crazy to me. But anyway, with that said, I'll just leave it there. So it is what it is. The Bridge of Doom, that's what I call it. The Bridge of Doom.